It's time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millis Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedules, horse biting, and seasonal hunting information with my outdoor media analysts Joe Allen Dunn and Kevin Sims. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millis Ferry hunting and fishing report.
Another one on B&B Silver Shade. Team Bigfoot in the house.
Team Bigfoot and Shane Jones crappie fishing. I spent about 10 hours on the water with Shane Jones this weekend. And I got me a lesson.
You learned something too, didn't you?
Did. Good afternoon, Joe Allen.
Well, you've been waiting a while to get one up on me, hadn't you, on that Team Bigfoot in the house?
Yeah, I got it. Hey, welcome to the Gettin Outdoors podcast, episode 185. We are live from the Lawler Timber Company, Grampin Hills Outdoor Media Center. This is the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report for the weekend of September the 23rd through September the 25th. And I do want to thank Miss Beth Cowan Drake. What a great podcast talking about Alabama the Beautiful. She does a great job with that. And we got a lot to talk about, though, today. Shane Jones, I tell you, Joe Allen, he insisted that I get in the boat with him the other day, and I'm sure he's got the film of me getting out of my boat into his boat. That would be a good one to put up. But I tell you what, it was a learning experience, and we'll talk about it when we get to the crappie.
You probably doing it more graceful than Joe Allen would have.
Hey, Mr. Freddie's on. I appreciate them pictures. He flew over Millis Ferry. You see those pictures he took out of that airplane? Those are some great pictures. I appreciate you sending them to me, Freddie.
I didn't realize that the contrast where the powerhouse, how much distance it was. You know, when you're just fishing, it don't look like it's that far.
Noonan Hall, Robert Hutchison, and Paula Lampkin. How y'all doing? Appreciate everybody tuning in. We got a lot to go over today, including the dredging is still going on. I think they're all the way up in Montgomery now, and that's where they're going in, and then they're going to come back down, and I think hit some places that they missed. I think it's what Frank McIntosh said in that article Todd wrote. Team Fishmasters in the house. Ryan Gunn, how you doing? I didn't get a chance to use any of Ryan's jigs this weekend because I was with Shane, but I am going to use them coming up, and we'll talk about that too on the crappie report. This weekend is free launch at all state parks and all federal parks. So you don't have to pay your launch fee Saturday in recognition. I don't forgot what kind of day it is, camping and hunting day or some kind of day. But this Saturday is no day use fees at the federal parks or the state parks. Alabama Wildlife Federation cook-offs are coming up. We got one in Selma on October the 20th and one at the West Alabama Grove Hill on November the 3rd. That's a long ways off, but if you're going to do a cook team, and Joe Allen, Mr. David Skipper, called you out the other day. He said it ain't no reason that you ought not to have you a team done sports cooking team. And I don't want to hear you don't want to compete against Shannon, because I think you and Todd could compete against Shannon. Hey, Denise.
But Todd's in there with him, and I'm not gonna battle them and all that. I'll come support them, but
you and Travis ought to put together a cook team.
Yeah, Travis could round us up some.
Put Dirty Hooker.
Woo!
But anyhow,
we cook.
It's gonna be a great event. I talked to John Brunson the other night. He's gonna be there with the Hawks, and the pig brig man's gonna give away another pig brig like he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going.
Where's it gonna be this year?
Down there in Grove
Hill again.
Mm-hmm. And I tried to get Alan O'Brien to come on with us tonight, but I never did hear back from him. He's got 2 great YouTube videos. Did you watch it, Joe Allen? I sent it to you.
Yeah, yep.
He's killing some teal. I don't think it's a bunch of teal out there, but he
found them.
He found them.
Yeah,
and he's also started a podcast called Duck Roost Podcast that him and Cade are doing. So y'all go to your app store, your podcast app, and search Duck Roost Podcast and subscribe to it. And it should, they love that hunting now, that duck hunting. All right, the hurricane, y'all keep an eye on the weather, because it looks like we could possibly have a hurricane next week. And Lord, I sure hope not, but you don't ever know.
We don't need that.
And I hadn't got this on my show notes, but if you haven't gone to the Alabama Bass Trail YouTube channel, or Alabama Bass Trail Live TV YouTube channel, they put up the U-Faller tournament last week, last Sunday morning, and that's the one that Trey and Bradley won.
Mm-hmm. So
y'all need to go watch that. It's a good. Them boys they look like professional fishermen in there doing those interviews. I was mighty proud of them, and I tell you, they do a great job. Alabama Bass Trail 100 and the Alabama Bass Trail. I think they're gonna fish in both of them next year. Or rather, Trey and
Leon are
gonna fish the 100, and then
Bradley and him are gonna fish the trail.
All right. Anything else? Any other news we need? I don't know of anything else we need to talk about other than I did want to let me do this right quick before we get to the hunting and fishing report, because I got this right here, and I want y'all to help me with this, because now's the time. And I talked about this on the other day on the show, and if I can find it, Owen Rouse up in Dallas County cracked that persimmon open, and he thought it was a shovel, but look at it close. I think that's a fork.
That's a spoon.
A spoon.
Yeah.
But look. All right, look at this one now. Look up at the top right there, Kevin. You see that right there?
Google what the fork looks like.
All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, here it is. There you go. Look at that fork. All right, you see it on the bottom down there?
Uh-huh.
All right, now look at this one.
That's a spoon.
It may be a fork.
It may be a fork. And if it's a fork, that means what does it mean? Pleasant, mild winter with no snow days. So we got to figure out, Owen, if this is a fork or a spoon. And I'm saying it's a fork. It looks like it, don't it? I swear, according to this.
Yeah, I agree.
According to this
one
right here.
Yeah.
I believe I believe that's what it is. I swear I believe it's anyway. Y'all cut one open, and now remember what I tell you. Don't go out there and pull one of them big old Japanese persimmons and cut it open, because all you're going to know is what the Japanese weather is going to be. Use a native persimmon, one that grows wild in the woods. And that way you can find out what the weather forecast is for the winter. So everybody do that and send it to me, please, oh please. And yep, I agree with you, Paula. All right, let's go to the hunting and fishing report. Joe Allen, we'll get to you in a minute because you done quit fishing, but let's start with the catfishing last weekend. Big Bama Brian, I ran across him in the river. He was catching.
He called me 2 times. I called him back both times and he didn't ever answer.
He did not catch any big ones, but he caught some fish. He was dragging with them planer boards out there. And I don't see Bud on here tonight, but he sent me some pictures of Kyle in the Leaf River. Is that, you say that's in Louisiana?
It's in the South Mississippi. I wasn't for sure. We went over at the Leaf River to the paper mill over. Me and Joanna went over there to eat. It's in South Mississippi, down around where so it's almost Louisiana. What's that big sporting goods store? Simmons down there. It's over that way, somewhere down that way.
Well, he caught some mud cats.
It's 180 miles long.
I mean, yellow cat, flatheads. He had some good ones. He sure did in the Leaf River. And this weekend we do have an Alabama catfish series this weekend in Demopolis, Alabama, and I don't think I know anybody that has been on the cover of a magazine more than Marshall Huey. That's his second cover of the Catfish Now magazine, and he is the tournament director. And they will have a Alabama Catfish Series tournament out of Demopolis City Landing Saturday. So that's a good picture right there. So if y'all see him, get him to autograph one of them books and bring it to me where we can put it up here in the studio. Leaf River runs through Hattiesburg, according to Freddie, and that's where he lives.
It's 180 miles long, according to the internet. I looked it up on the internet.
Thank you, Freddie. All right, catfishing, Adam Acker. I got a picture of this too. Now, these are the type pictures right here that make old Big Dad tick. Adam called me last week. He was coming up here, and they were going to stay at Roland Cooper State Park, and he fixed him up some 28-foot jugs, and he was going to go below the dam. I said, I believe 28 foot would be too long below the dam. Yeah. So they went up there between Roland Cooper State Park and Shalachi Creek, and he caught him some little brim, and look at him now. That's the kind of picture that makes old Big Dad tick right there. Right, them kids are having them a good time.
You see them grins right there.
And that's some good eating fish right there.
Yeah.
But I appreciate him sending me those pictures. All right, this weekend, Joe Allen, if you're going catfishing, what you gonna do? The water?
Watch the water. Ain't no current.
Here's Miller's Ferry for tomorrow, which will be September the 22nd, from 2 p.m. till 8 p.m. They pull in 3 units at Miller's Ferry. From 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., 4 units at Jones Bluff. The river temperatures are 80 to 84 degrees in the river, and the sloughs are 78 to 82 degrees. So if you come in this weekend, I expect they're going to suck that water down. What would you do? Catfish?
Well, I'd fish in the river, while they pull in water. When they're not, I'd take some 6-foot jugs and move back in there on the creeks, on the creek channel. But pulling water is the main thing for them. And if you can't find any pulling water, next best thing is hope for some wind and use the wind to your advantage to push your jugs where you want them. But usually you don't have to go to the shorter line jugs to get much movement when they ain't pulling water and using that wind. So 6-foot line in the sloughs and long lines in the river when they're pulling that water in the evening.
Out in the river, you want to fish close to the bank right now too. Over on your deeper banks where you got a little bit more cover and stuff like that. Don't, instead of just dead in the middle of the river, work the edges more where you have some cover and stuff.
What about bait?
Well, you know what you want, but everybody talks about using brim, but I still rather go with either cut shad or skipjack. You'll have to get in the river with a cast net and look in some of those sloughs and flats, and you can find plenty of shad. You can see the schools now.
There's some big ones.
If you got smaller mesh net, you'll catch all you want.
All right, well, there you go. So y'all come on. Let's do it this weekend. Or if you want to fish a catfish tournament, there are an Alabama Catfish Tournament Series tournament out of Demopolis City Landing Saturday. All right, let's go to some crappie fishing. I'm going to throw this up here. Kevin, if you don't think them two right there was studying a map the other night, that's Shane and Joe Allen, and they were studying that map and look to the right. That's what that does. If you study them maps, that's what you can do. You can
me and Shane went. I tried to tell him what all was beyond where we was at, but that we was kind of concentrating on where we was at. But I said it's a whole nother world.
Well,
in that spot.
I tell you what, he taught me so much.
Shane's on too.
Well, I went and we ate supper. Scott Mitchell came over to Joe Allen Saturday night.
Oh, cool.
And me and Scott and Joe Allen and Shane, I'm telling you, boy, I was just like I was sucking it in like a sponge. Y'all taught me so much, and I'm gonna tell everybody, I got a Tarova trolling motor. I'm taking it off, and I'm getting me one of those 4-Treks. Now, I've had a lot of people tell me that Tarova is top of the line. It's got spot lock. It's all GPS, everything you want in one. But for the way that you use the live scope, it just doesn't work for me. I can't work it. So I'm on downgrade to the 4-Treks, and Shane showed me how to use that the other day, and I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna make a difference. It really is on catching fish and chasing them down. You know, we've been talking about how they chase them down, Joe Allen. Y'all know how he does it. Now I know how he does it. And you got to know what you're looking at. You got to know. You just got, you got to. It's just like Shane and Scott told me the other night. They told me in 2 hours what it took them boys 10 years to learn.
Oh yeah,
and that means a lot. And so there you go. And thank you, Shane and Scott. He's on here.
He said that ain't no downgrade, big deal. Hey Scott, how you doing?
But I appreciate all that information y'all gave me, and I want to tell Ryan Gunn sent me a box of hand-tied Fishmaster jigs. I didn't get a chance to use them this weekend, Ryan, but I am going to use them this coming weekend. I got one particular jig that I'm going to use at one particular spot, and I'll let you know how to do it. The River Legend tournament down at Mount Vernon, Scott Mitchell and his wife Kelly won it. They had 7 fish, 9.10, and the big fish with 144. Dick McMillan came in second with a 7 fish, 633, and River Legend. They do a good job, and he's going to do a lot of those next year, and hopefully we can get them up here to Miller's Ferry. Now, so if you're going, let me tell y'all, if you're going crappie fishing this weekend, if you know where some brush tops are, you get in your boat. And he's shouting out to Brody again.
It's a small world. Brody drove from school down to Leaksville to a rodeo from one of the guys that called him and help a guy out that was starting out rodeo, and took some rigging down there for him to use and try out. And turned out it was Scott's nephew.
Yeah.
And Brody had a good time, and Mitchell was very favorable and talking pleasant. Told Brody was a good, fine young man, and that made me happy. And he better be. That's how he better act. That's how he was raised.
All right, let's talk about crappie fishing. If you're coming crappie fishing this weekend, Joe Allen, I say get in them sloughs and put your trolling motor down. And I mean, we covered. I ain't no telling how much water we covered the other day.
Well, the big thing that I got from all that talking we did the other night was, this year now, that everything is starting to get crystal clear.
Yeah.
And you had to downsize the bait, and the little bait that Shane was using or showing us how to use was a lot smaller. It had just one stubby tail on it. It wasn't nothing, a bunch of tails or anything. And 2, if he was using his hair jig, he was taking his scissors and cutting them out, cutting it up right up next to the hook, because that water and some water, he told, we was talking about because I went in alligator and I could see that jig down almost 18 inches or more. And he said, best thing to get out of that slough and go on nothing with some stained water, a little bit, because they can look at it too long. That is why they'll turn off and leave it. They look at it too long because you want that reaction to it, and just turn on it and charge it's what you want.
Well, I wasn't there when y'all were talking the other night, but like the speed too, with that, as you downsize, that when the water gets clearer, you want to move a little faster too, don't you?
You bring it in on top of the head, then you get away a little bit quicker. If you slow down too much and it go below him for sure.
He
stay up above his head a little bit.
Yeah, I got hollered at several times.
Me too. I thought it was just me. Shane, he was getting on me.
I got hollered
pick
at.
Pick it up.
Like he was my school teacher. But hey, it was worth it. It was worth it.
Oh yeah.
And but anyhow, they're out there. But those crappie are not ganged up. I think Shane found one stump where it was a bunch of fish.
Oh, he showed that video. He found that one place there. He said, "This is what we're looking for." It looks at least 30 of them on that one.
But they were far and few between. But I'm telling you, it was some big ones on just about every stump and every stick up. I mean, you just had to hunt them down.
Keep moving.
You had to keep moving. But then that's the way you can catch them right now. And just like Shane said, this is summertime, and you ain't supposed to catch them like in the summertime. You remember summer 2 years ago, I quit fishing for crappie in the summertime and started jugging because I couldn't catch them.
Yep.
So
well, that water's fixed. We hope next week is when we're gonna start the beginning of our transition. Maybe next week when that temperature start dropping, and that'll change everything up then.
But anyway, it's plenty of crappie out there, I guarantee you, because I saw them Saturday and Sunday. All right, bass fishing this weekend, Pride of the South Elites will be at Bridgeport City Landing, and I saw where Mr. Gabe Aldridge has got the 2019 BASS Angler of the Year fishing with him. Scott Canterbury is going to be fishing in it.
Trying to bring him a ringer in there.
Yeah, trying to bring him a ringer up in there. So I'll be glad to see him here. So that is this weekend. Are you going to fish it?
No, I'm going to, I got to go to Nebraska Friday morning. I mean, Missouri. Brody's got his first college rodeo in Missouri. I'll leave Friday morning about 4 o'clock, and he'll be riding at 7 o'clock Friday night and 7 o'clock Saturday night.
And Trey Wade won the Monroe County Bass Anglers Tournament Saturday.
2 in a row, or 2 or 3 in a row for him.
Yeah. And the Woodsman Life Kids Rodeo at Roland Cooper State Park was just great. They had 30-something kids. They had a ball. And I appreciate Jen and Ashley and all the people at Woodsman Life to put that event on. It really was good. Fruit jar tournaments are over for the year. Scott said he's not going to be able to do any more, and Mr. Harry had knee surgery the other day, so we'll start them back in 2023. They had what they call a bass combine up at Decatur this weekend. BASS had it where all the colleges come in, and the high school bass anglers go up there and they test them, like the combine in the football on their casting skills. And Laura was up there. I got to get a report from them, but they gave away, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I think they gave away over $3 million worth of bass scholarships to fishing teams for them colleges.
Wow.
This weekend. That's strong.
That's strong.
That's strong. So congratulations to all those high school kids.
I mean, that's an investment in the industry that's going to go on further. Because if you look at that in the elites right now, you probably got 2 or 3 college fishermen that are made it to that level.
Exactly right.
And then in the opens, it's dozens and dozens and dozens of them in the opens that are trying to get to the elites that came out of the collegiate fishing. The guy from Chattanooga up there, he's sitting in 6th place right now, and he won the national championship in college.
Yeah,
I can't remember what year it was, 3 or 4 years ago. So he's in 6th place and makes it to 3rd. He'll be in the elites next year.
All right, this weekend, Pride of the South out of Bridgeport City Landing. You're fishing against one of the top pros in the nation, Scott Canterbury. How you gonna beat him, Kevin? How you gonna catch some fish?
Follow him around. Now that we're with the river, the clearness of the river is definitely set back the fall pattern just a little bit. The river, because it's clear. I looked at it today; it's clear. But you're still gonna have some fall patterns that's kicking in there. You're gonna start getting fishing your bait. Some of your, I think if you fish in backwater, you're gonna need to find where you got some inlet water coming in, some creeks, stuff like that, because of the oxygen content, and your bait are gonna migrate into those sloughs more. But your ledges and your deep banks, your undercut banks, timber, if they do suck the water down, your wood and cover in the river is going to be big, especially early. Top water bait, I'm sure the top water bite is finna get on. Even with the water clear, it's going to get good. Whether you're throwing a buzz bait or a stick bait, but the top water bait's finna come on in the next week or two. So it could do that this weekend. But if water gets low, that's going to concentrate your fish, and wood's going to probably be the main cover, because it's not going to be enough grass to be able to sustain a heavy limit on grass. You might catch a fish on grass, but if you're going to get a big limit, you're going to catch them off wood or a deep bank, probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I was going out Saturday morning, I waited we had about, the Monroe County Bass Anglers had a tournament out of Ellis's, and so did a club out of Montgomery. And I let them get in. When I left, it was 4 or 5 of them on that point as you hit the river from Ellis's throwing buzz baits.
Yeah, that's right. The top water baits, they're coming. That's finna get good. Your Zara spooks, some of these new slap baits they got coming out. I hadn't really fished them very much. I've been reading up on them, and there's they kind of walk like a regular bait, but they sink in the water where the tail's in the water, and when you pull it to make it walk, it kind of splashes just a little bit, but it's pretty much the same thing. I think it's going to be a good bait because not everybody's throwing them. But top water in the fall is real good. Your shad pattern crankbaits, even some of your lipless crankbaits. You'll be able to get some. When the shad start to school up, and especially your spots as the water cools off, they'll start bunching them shad up, and you'll catch some big spots doing that.
What's it going to take to win the Pride of the South tournament Saturday?
I think just looking back at the weights for the last 3 weeks, because I've been working. I ain't had a day off in 4 weeks, but I think you're going to see basically, it went 16, 15, then we had a 13 last week. So I'm going to say we're going to be in that 14 to 15.5 range right in there. I don't think it's fall enough to get that 18-pound sack yet, but you catch 2 or 3 really nice fish, you can be there close. But I think it's going to be in that 14 to 15-pound range.
All right. Well, that's this weekend, Pride of the South. Y'all want to fish against some of the top anglers in the nation? Call Jeremy and get you a boat number, and let's see if we can't. I'd like to see 100 boats fishing. All right, let's go to small game. Now, Joe Allen, you are the small game man, because you dove hunted 2 days in a row, didn't you?
Yeah, we got to go Saturday, and I got to go Sunday evening. We did good. Rick's hunt was real good, and Shane and Todd and Shannon carried me on a goose chase over here in Clark County.
Well, you know what they said? They said they was paying you back for that goose chase you took them on crappie fishing.
Well, that goose chase crappie fishing would have been a lot better if they hadn't heckled me the whole time. It's like you up there trying to tell a joke or somebody janking in the background. That's the way they did. So
hold on, somebody want to know when dove season goes out. I'll find out.
But
it's split season, and dove season in the North Zone. That's where you are, Jim. It's a split season, and it came in September the 3rd, and it goes out October the 23rd for the first season. Then it comes back in November the 19th or November the 27th. And in the third season, December the 17th through January the 15th. But you didn't kill any birds Sunday?
No, they stuck me over in a little old hole over in the corner of the field, and they didn't have that many birds. But to their defense, it is everybody's done started bush hogging, and some people have even planted and so they started to scatter them out. So they had probably 30 birds come in the field, and they killed 5 or 6, and that was about it.
I see Jim Hardy with Outdoor Friends Forever's on here, and if y'all have not gotten you a ticket for those 30 guns in 30 days in October, you need to get. I guess y'all still got some tickets, ain't you, Jim? I got mine, but I'm telling you, 30 guns, $50 donation to Outdoor Friends Forever gives you a chance to win a gun a day. And
good call.
Y'all go check it out. Yes, for a darn good cause. I got all the information on my Facebook page. All right. Did anybody squirrel hunting, Joe Allen? Kevin, I hadn't heard of anybody squirrel hunting.
I imagine it's still so many leaves and then the wolves. I mean, it was hot as it's been, that I mean, they could, but it's not that I wouldn't go yet. And give it a couple of weeks, and go out there and you can get you some decent squirrels.
Jones tuned in. What's up, Bill Jones? How you doing, my friend?
But didn't squirrel season in the past come in about the middle of October?
Seemed like it did, Joe Allen. Everything's done changed so much since we used to squirrel hunt.
It used to be the same day as bow season.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be
October the 15th.
Yeah.
This
well,
this
what
heat, you can't get out in this kind of heat and hunt squirrels.
Well, what they did, they were trying to pacify the small game hunters by giving them more time to hunt when deer season wasn't coming in. But it really, that didn't help any making it that early, and it's that darn hot. Brian's tuned in. Old Big Bama Brian Taylor. He had to work on his electronics the other day. I felt sorry for him out there in the river's depth finder wasn't working. Mark Bolden, give me a crappie fishing report, Mark. I didn't see you on the water Sunday. You should have hollered at us. We had a good time.
All right, gonna see y'all this Sunday.
Oh, this Sunday.
See y'all on the water Sunday.
Okay. I don't know where the crappie gyps is gonna be this weekend. Has he told you, Joe Allen? It ain't no telling.
He's got it secret right now.
Okay. He don't want to tell everybody.
He ain't cutting it loose.
Yeah.
Justin Etheridge sent me a picture of a coyote toting a baby pig. Did y'all see that? I wish all the coyotes would eat all the pigs. Now, and the pigs eat the coyotes. That would be a good thing. But that was a good picture. And they made the announcement today or yesterday that they are going to have the Wilcox Area Chamber Big Buck Contest. Tickets will be available soon. That's one of the biggest buck giveaway, over $15,000 worth of stuff. And did y'all see this picture right here Tommy took in the woods the other day? That's an old tree. I don't know what that is they drove in it, but reckon that was safe to climb up and shoot a deer out of.
Take a big man reach around that tree and climb him.
Well, that tree, it's probably been there 30 years.
Yeah. I've also said now it's so big.
Yeah. But deer season's right around the corner. Everything is getting hot. Let's talk about ducks a minute now, Joe Allen, because ducks and our friend Alan O'Brien, I was talking about him a while ago with the Duck Roost podcast and the Black Belt Waterfowl YouTube channel, him and his son Cade. They are finding some teal out there. I don't know how, but they find them.
They spend time they riding because it's not a lot of them here, but he put time out there to locate some.
Didn't you talk to him the other night, Joe Allen? Come on with us tonight.
He said it's just really kind of hit or miss, They hunted the first few days, didn't find anything. Then he set up again the next time right after, when it was one of those coolest mornings, when it probably shoved some in here that whatever. But
and they probably moved on,
they were passing through, and the next day didn't see but a couple. And so, it's not real consistent right now. And we talked about that it still would be better if they would shove our season back, at least a week or 2 weeks, it'd be better.
Well, I asked you, Kevin, why do we have an early teal season? And you was telling me something about
when they because when they migrate, they don't historically teal don't stay here. The blue wing, the green wing, you'll see some teal over through December and all plumage look beautiful. You don't hardly ever see a blue wing teal that's got his winter coat here because most time they leave. When they come in here, they're on the way going Louisiana and then on South America, Mexico, like down there. But you don't see as many teal in the late part of the season, so they do the early season just so you have an opportunity to kill some. But that I've got 2 blue wing teal mounted, and both of them, the hen and the drake, you can't tell them apart because I killed them in September. The males ain't got their plumage up for the winter.
All right, let's talk about rodeo. I want to hear all about rodeo. You put a video, got hit over 1,000 times.
2,000
2,000 times. Brody rode it. He rode it 8 seconds. And y'all got a rodeo this weekend. Tell us what's going on.
Well, we went to Poplarville, Mississippi this weekend, and shout out for one of Brody's buddies there. His daddy owns a contractor, and he rides at Scuba, and he went over there and stayed with him the weekend and rode in the rodeo. It was an NCPRA rodeo, and covered his horse. He covered a couple horses on his practice pen at Livingston. He's the coach has been working with him. He's definitely getting better. Real optimistic. We got a rodeo. We're going to Marshall, Missouri. He rides on Friday night and Saturday night. I'm gonna leave out Friday morning about 4 o'clock. It's about a 12-hour drive. Go up there to watch him ride. The home rodeo is the next weekend, the 29th through the 1st.
Got it up on the screen.
Through the 1st. And I'd love to see a big showing to cheer for Rodeon, because this will be his Livingston debut, and it's they painted all the railings been painted. It's gonna be a good rodeo. It's a good one to bring some kids to, and it's not far, and it'll be a fun thing. And
be at the Hines Spree Rodeo Complex in Livingston, Alabama. Gates open at 6. Rodeo begins at 7. And I guess it's 3 nights.
3 nights.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. Start September the 29th through October the 1st, 2022. And we'll talk about it again next weekend.
All the rough stocks 2 nights. So it'll be, that each, they'll have a certain amount ride every night. But it'll be, the guys will have 2 horses or 2 cows, whatever they're going to do, And then it'll be, all your other events, your timed events, pole bending, roping, all that stuff.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. The University of West Alabama, better known as Livingston University, has got one hell of a rodeo team. I can tell you that. And we're mighty proud to support it and Brody, of course, too, on that rodeo team. All right, Joe Allen, what's going on at Dunn Sports? You couldn't come over here today because you got a big old truckload of stuff in. What you got over there?
We're getting more of our archery stuff in now, and going ahead and getting our fall stuff now too. We got a little bit more ammo, but the main thing I'm hearing from suppliers is, don't get happy that it's not going to get any better. Don't look for a whole lot more. So we got a good bit of ammo right now, but I don't expect it to last long because of that. Like I said, Hornady ammo is almost still non-existent. Winchester, very little. I got a good bit of Federal and Remington, and that's about it, as far as ammo go. Guns are a little bit better. Like I said, this year we got a big supply of Browning.
Looks like you got a stack of them behind you right there.
Yeah, that's mostly, excuse me, some of the 223 stuff. Got a bunch of Browning pistols in. That was good to see. And got a bunch of Glocks in, too, again. So we got a little stuff right now, but how long it's going to last, I couldn't tell you.
All right, what you doing this weekend? You dove hunting? Are you fishing? Or what you going to hunting use, or what you going to do?
No, I'm going to come over and do the same thing I did last weekend. I still got some more.
And sleep?
You forgot I put out all that structure. I had to do all that. And I got some more to put out. And excuse me. And then I'm going dove hunting that evening.
What about you, Kevin? You rodeoing?
I'll be in the highway. I got 12 hours there, 2 days rodeo, and 12 hours home.
Well, I'm gonna hit the water. I'm gonna get out in that water and put the Shane Jones crappie fishing on them this week.
I'm in the next week or two. The frog bite's finna be on at Chickamauga. Me and Jamie, we finna hit the Chickamauga on the frog bite and go up there and fish me a 10-pounder up there. I hope.
All right, everybody have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Joe Allen, for coming in. I tell you, coming in loud and clear over there with that little setup you got. I guarantee you're doing a good job. And Kevin, thank you. We missed you the last 2 weeks.
I'm glad to be back. Like I said, I've been working a lot and running back and forth to Livingston, helping Brody, and I've been busy. I apologize for not making it.
Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will see y'all next Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and I'll see you this Friday morning at 8 o'clock on the Getting Outdoors live show. And you've been listening to the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report for the weekend of September the 23rd through the 25th. See y'all next week.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do it all